Let's now take you across live to Shubhendu in Tokyo to find out more about, well, this trip itself seems to have been a blockbuster on day one, Shubhendu. It'll be a tough act to follow up really on day two, but just tell us in terms of how, day one, all the proceedings that took place, all the outcomes and the joint declarations that came out, how have they been received in Japan itself?
Hello, Gautam. Konnichiwa from Tokyo. Well, you're right. It's been really a milestone day as far as the relationship between India and Japan are concerned. What has been achieved is going to really lay the roadmap in many ways. The vision statement is made very clear about the next 10 years, whether it is investment, whether it is peoples of the two countries working together, technology sharing, and more. We saw through the day, on day one, the kind of connectedness that exists between India and Japan. If you look at the elements that Prime Minister Modi was part of, they're very welcome when the Japanese origin artists presented Indian dance form, cultural art forms. It was an important message also to talk about the degree to which not only is there a great degree of comfort in one another's culture, but also it is something that people would like to embrace. There is a willingness, there is an eagerness to engage with the other. With the engagement with the business leaders, both Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Ishiba made it clear that the leadership would like the businesses, the entrepreneurs to take the initiative and take the relationship between the two nations, their potential to the next level. But how do you achieve that as an isolated entrepreneur or a businessman? And that question is answered in the outcome of the annual summit, where a very, very ambitious and expanded vision statement has been put forth by both the leaders, whether we talk about the $10 trillion yen, which is a significant boost to areas which are of common interest, particularly emerging technologies, to talking about the workforce exchange plan, a more organized opportunities for people of India, the skilled workforce, for example, in particular, in Japan, with Japan welcoming them, saying that we do need them for our economy, and Indian skilled workforce getting better opportunities in Japan, in a friendly neighboring country. So in that sense, a 360-degree achievement panel, if you look at, on day one of Prime Minister's visit. Gautam?
Yes, and Japan working away in incremental steps from its hesitation to the past, where its defenses are concerned and defense ties are concerned as well. Very significant there as well. Just tell us about day two as well, because it's mostly about, it seems, technology, and India and Japan have been collaborating a lot in that field. But this time around, things are different. They're going to areas which were through the last few decades remained untouched largely.
Absolutely. Day two, Gautam, the very first engagement that Prime Minister has, it's an important one. He's meeting, in fact, the governors. So the executive head of the prefectures, they're like states in India, prefectures in Japan. So these governors have all come here in Tokyo to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, an important outreach, not just in Tokyo, but to all the prefectures, to a more expanded geographical outreach in that sense when he meets the executive head of each of the prefectures this morning. That's the first engagement. And after that, it's an interesting trip that has been planned for Prime Minister Modi. Prime Minister and his Japanese counterpart are going to travel together in a bullet train. And they're going to travel about 350 kilometers to Sendai, that's Miyachi Prefecture, which is home to significant semiconductor facilities. And one of the major facilities, Prime Minister would be taking a tour of, a closer look at the manner in which things are done. In Japan, we know Japanese work culture and other things are also very interesting to study and observe. And Prime Minister likes this sort of first-hand exposure and experience of these new technologies that is set to transform India and the world in the times to come. And the ride in the bullet train is also important in symbolic terms. We know that Japan and India are partnering in the first high-speed rail network that is going to come up in India. So in that sense, day two is going to be more on the practical visuals of all that we can expect in the years to come in India-Japan partnership.
Just wanted to ask you that, when you talk about semiconductors, chips, they become more synonymous with Taiwan. But just tell us about the kind of capabilities that Japan has in this particular field, which could be of benefit to India in its own semicon mission?
Gautam, we have to understand that Japan has significant manufacturing prowess. Yes, Taiwan is, of course, right at the top. But Taiwan, Japan also share a great degree of partnership. And if we just talk about Japan's presence in the semiconductor market, about 30% of the manufacturing in the world of semiconductors happens here in Japan. And interestingly, many of these manufacturing plants are associated with Taiwan. So Taiwan also, because of the limitations of geographical area, has partnered with countries, like-minded countries, to expand its own footprint. So in that sense, Japanese manufacturing, Taiwanese manufacturing, they go hand in hand. And when India engages so closely with Japan, it is also engaging in that sense with the best technology, best processes in semiconductor manufacturing in the world today.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we look forward to the day that the PM will have and more inputs from you as well. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, Shubhendu Ghosh.